They would know for sure. Yes. I remember like it was probably a couple years ago now that Chiz suggested we do a bit where we all bought minoxidil, and we were gonna do like Chiz and Kyle, Chiz and Kyle were gonna be like, I'm gonna apply a bunch of minoxidil to my face, get my beard growing thicker, and either Chiz or Kyle was like, Taylor, you buy some too and spread it all over your face and grow even more hair. And I'm like, that's hilarious. I just dropped $65 on Amazon for this. And it was maybe like 3 days later after I had got it, taken a picture and sent it to our, me, Kyle, Woody, and Chiz group chat, that Chiz like messaged me on Discord or something, was like, hey man, I know you already bought it, but I've been doing a lot of research about this, and I highly recommend you do not apply this. This is not a bit for us to do.
It's in a box somewhere.
If you don't need to grow hair, please, Taylor, do not be putting this on your face and on your head, and you might get hair follicles on your fingertips or something. And I was like, okay, all right. And then I literally kept that under my sink, 7 bottles of it. It came with one and then like a 6 bonus pack. And because that's how they sold it.
What were you going to do? Go werewolf with it?
I was going to put it all over my face and see if it made my beard thicker. Yeah. And then a friend of mine who's been going bald since we were like 16, honestly, it's okay because he's like 6'5", and so he can get, nobody sees the top of his head. Yeah. And I gave it to him, and he told me that he would start using it, but I haven't noticed any hair growth, so I bet he forgot.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that it's like minoxidil is like FDA approved and it's the over-the-counter thing to use for hair and whatnot, but it's like the way it works is actually pretty like intense. Like it causes a bunch of vasodilation. It can lower your blood pressure a shit ton, and that's sort of how it facilitates the hair growth. And some people get like heart arrhythmias and shit. Like I know some people who've ended up in the hospital just from minoxidil.
I think that's what turned us off to it. Like it sounded funny. It sounded funny at first, but then it was just like, wait, there are health concerns to Rogaine? How is that possible? Why did no one tell us?
Yeah, it just was like, it can cause arrhythmias, facial flushing, general weakness, and in rare cases, a loss of hair. And I was like, that's awful.
Does low blood pressure do the opposite of Blue Chew?
No, Blue Chew is a vasodilator.
Yeah, they do the same thing. So it's like if you had Blue Chew and minoxidil simultaneously, you might fucking pass out in the gym from low blood pressure for all
well, minoxidil's out.
Minoxidil's out because Blue Chew is part of my regimen.
Taylor's workout.
That's great.
Regimen.
Pre-workout, by the way. If
Lift in the bar.
Get shredded, take Blue Chew and work out. Is that a good strategy? Get nice and vascular, I guess.
For getting a good pump, yeah, it's fucking amazing, actually.
What are you talking about, Viagra or the tadalafil?
I like obviously Cialis.
Yeah, Cialis is better in my opinion, but that's only because Viagra is like you need to have an empty stomach for it to work really well, and the half-life is only 4 hours, so it's like you have to like time it when you're gonna fuck the chick. Whereas with Cialis, it's like you just pop it, you're good.
You're good for like 36 hours with that.
Oh yeah, dude. With Viagra, you have to like methodically like plan out your fucking protocol, and it's like
I have side effects with Viagra. Like I have light sensitivity and headaches related to related to sildenafil or whatever it is. Does not go down well, but tadalafil I've never had any issues other than like if I really take a lot of it, like a stuffy nose. But that's it.
That's the one side effect I have.
But I got
other than the intended one, but
almost 30 milligrams.
The stuffy nose is a big deal for me.
30 milligrams of Cialis or Viagra?
Cialis.
Jesus, fuck, dude, that's a huge dose.
I know. I wanted to see what happened.
It's a fucking hammer dose, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, I guess I usually take either 1 6 milligram chewable or 2. It says to take 1 or 2, and I've found that
it sure does.
It does,
and I don't recommend that anybody take more than 1 or 2.
Of course not. We advise everyone to abide by the packaging.
One is more than enough, I think. But the stuffy nose is so. I have sleep apnea. I sleep with the CPAP machine.
Same, dude.
Oh. Yeah, so the stuffy nose means I don't breathe through my nose very well, which means I don't get a very good night's sleep. And, you really have to decide if that's something that you want.
Yeah, I used to have bad problems breathing through my nose, and I used to use the full face mask. But I hated, waking up with the lines around your face and shit. So I've been trying to use the nose one too.
That's what I use.
And I find it better, to be honest. But yeah, I've had a CPAP for like 7 years now.
Is it loud?
It's kind of like you might listen to it and be like, how the fuck could you sleep with that? But it's almost just such a consistent noise that it's almost relaxing for some people, and for some it just, you forget it's there because it's
that's what I was gonna say. You get used to sounds like that.
No,
when I've lived in the I've lived in a lot of different places, and when I've been in parts of the city where it's just like loud as fuck, and like for the first 6 months I'm just like, these fucking neighbors outside with their like hot rods spinning tires and yelling in Spanish. I'm never going back to sleep. But like I moved and I was like, I can't get to. I had to put Speedy Gonzalez on. I had to hear arriba, 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 andale, andale, and I was like,
mine makes nearly no noise. No noise.
You probably have a newer one.
You have a BPAP, don't you?
Yeah, I do. A BPAP is it's like a CPAP, but a CPAP is just pressure. A BPAP, if it senses you're not breathing, will kick it off, almost like a respirator. But here, I want to say this: it is quieter than a ceiling fan on low. It is quieter than the second hand on a wristwatch. Like, it is quiet. It's not the kind of like, if you're thinking air conditioner, not in that league. You might not know. It's quieter than the air coming out of your vents, for the air conditioner and such. Like, it's quiet.
The newer ones are more quiet, but like I've been using the same one from. I have a newer one, but my old one has been working fine, and it's not laziness. I just haven't switched to the new one. And I think the new one's way quieter, but mine, I've been using the same one for like 7 years now. So
do you ever?
I've always wondered how it is when you're hooking up with a chick as a single. Are you a single guy?
I was going there. Yeah.
No.
You're not. When you were single and using that CPAP, was it ever like, you're jacked, good looking guy, Jimmy Neutron, head of hair. You're going out, you're picking up chicks, you bring them back, you fuck, after you've taken your tadalafil, and then she decides to spend the night. You just roll over and put on your Darth Vader mask. Is that ever uncomfortable?
Everyone thinks that's like weird or awkward, and honestly, it's not at all. I just say, like, when you're big enough, your neck gets to a certain size that no matter what you do, even if you're lean, you are going to have inhibition of your airway right here because it just kind of like falls into itself. So anyone who's over like, okay, this is like a bad rough estimate, but like typically anybody who bodybuilds and is bulking up at all is going to eventually probably benefit from a CPAP. So it's like very common now, despite somebody who doesn't have it thinks no one might think it's weird. And like, I can see how people would think, oh, a chick thinks that's weird, but it's like, do you want me to fucking die in my sleep? Like, I'm going to use it. So like, I don't care.
I looked at it through the other lens. Like, so I felt really weird. I still feel weird. Like
oh, really?
I prefer it in the dark of the night and stuff. Like,
okay, I'll tell you what is weird though. I'll tell you what is weird is if you're going to a chick's house and you have the CPAP machine and she automatically assumes, she's like, what's this thing? And you have to somehow skirt around. I'm not presuming I'm going to fuck you tonight. And so I have a fucking sleep machine in my car. I just happen to have it in my trunk.
That's no business of yours.
But the other side
I
of it
dated a
is
girl for a long time, and she would not. It was like months before I knew she had a retainer. I would like finally she felt comfortable enough to like pull it, and I was just like, when did this start? She's like, around 16 years old. We're 27. I was like, what? Why are you just now breaking it? She's like, I didn't feel comfortable breaking it out.
With a retainer, that everybody has a retainer. Well, I never wear mine, but everybody has one.
My wife wears one, and I don't think less of her one iota, right?
Oh,
exactly.
I do.
And if my wife hypothetically had a BPAP,
I broke up with her right away.
that wouldn't bother me either. But for somehow I held myself to a higher standard. Like I'm supposed to be perfect.
I'm out of here, Snaggletooth. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, the CPAP things, it's only awkward if you're going to their house and you're just starting to see them. Because it's like, even with like a Cialis or a Viagra, you can keep it in your wallet. So it's not like they can be like, what's this thing? Because you don't have it out in the open. But a CPAP
Kyle can. He's got a fucking horse pill.
No, I just took a bunch of little ones. They're like sweet tarts.
Yeah.
They do taste great. Yeah.
You got to bring this machine with you in a fucking bag. And it has a big hose attached to it, a mask. And obviously, you either have to hide it in your trunk, and then when you're about to go to sleep, after you fuck, I got to go back to my car and get the thing. And then no matter what, she's thinking, okay, this guy thought he was going to fuck me because the thing is in his trunk. You know what I mean?
But if you already fucked her, she'll probably think like, wow, he's got great foresight.
You're like, no, I'm prepared for any scenario. There's also a shovel in there.
There's zip ties, my tools.
So Derek,
a bag of Cialis for my dick in my car too, So
the CPAP machine. huge improvement to your whole quality of life, like me?
Oh, dude, it's like the more weight I gained, the worse my sleep apnea got, to the point where I was falling asleep in university classes like I would literally be on a full night's sleep, sitting in front of the teacher and just pass out for the entire lecture, wake up when it was done and leave. I couldn't stay awake sitting in one spot.
I was
for
a
more than
dangerous
5
driver.
minutes. Yeah, dude. I one time drove over an island in the middle of the car, like one of those big, section off things that divide oncoming and traffic and whatnot. I just like blew up my tire because I fell asleep at the wheel like a long time ago.
Fuck.
Yeah, Woody's snoring was outrageous. Like I've shared hotel rooms with him a few times, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, is
That
there
was an
something wrong with
Olympic
you?
level
The answer is
snore.
yes.
That was
Yeah, it's top tier. My dad, I grew up and my dad was always snoring so loudly that I could hear him like through my door, all the way down the hall, through his door, all the way across his bedroom. Like, we're separated by a good distance and multiple walls and doors, and still.
Yeah.
But Woody, definitely on par with my dad. I don't know who was louder, but he's on one of those machines too now. Like it's.
Do you still snore with the machine? Because I don't know.
This was pre-machine.
He doesn't either,
This
no.
was pre-machine.
Okay.
Yeah. And like when I first got it took maybe a week before I was good at sleeping with that thing on and knew how to adjust it and get it right.
Oh, dude. When I first got it, I'd wake up and the thing would be fucking hucked across the room because I just couldn't sleep with it. I'd, in my sleep, rip it off my face and like throw it and then fall back asleep.
I put it on in the dark and I couldn't figure out where the front and the back was. I'm like putting my head through not the head hole, and it's just all fucked up. And the fact that I needed it was very upsetting for me. So it was already like a sensitive subject, and I was just like tempted.
Did Jackie know better than to tease you at all?
I don't think she's wired like that. No, she's never teased me about anything like that. And when I first got it, I immediately went on like I immediately went on this paramotor trip. So I was in a hotel by myself trying to figure it out the first week. But anyway, then once I got sleeping, I woke up like charged. It's like I'm a teenager or something. I just wake up in the morning and seize the day. Like, who wakes up and just says, what a glorious time to be alive? It's a whole new thing.
It's a sign of having sleep apnea, Woody and Derek. Like, because who knows? Maybe I fucking have it. Like, you'll get a full night's sleep and you'll wake up, and just the thought of getting out of bed, you're like, how have I been laying here for 8 hours? It feels like it's been 20 minutes.
Right.
And
Your
like,
quality of sleep is just shit. So you'll wake up. And
fuck, maybe I have it. I'm overweight.
Yeah, dude.
Could also be alien abduction.
Get a sleep test, man, because seriously, anybody with any neck thickness at all, I think it's the #1 cause of bodybuilder deaths prematurely.
Now, this is a common misconception. I'm the first one to jump in and point out when someone's wrong. Neck thickness is the tightest line between a physical trait and health. That is what you want, the thickest neck. It's your body saying, sleep, be gone from me. I do not need you. I am already charged and illuminated with my own musk, my own vibe.
Alex Jones got a thick neck.
So
thick.
Yeah, I saw